It was another day devoted to the media showing its malice and its bias, its triviality. Another day where the Liberals learned what fools they were not to reform the ABC back when they had the chance. Now, you'll remember this ambush on the Prime Minister yesterday with Channel 10's Peter Van Onselen. It was a real gotcha question.
In one, she describes you as, quote, a horrible, horrible person, going on to say she did not trust you and you're more concerned with politics than people. The Minister is even more scathing, describing you as a fraud and, quote, a complete psycho. Does this exchange surprise you? And what do you think it tells us?
Now, today, Van Onselen clarified that the minister he meant was in Morrison's own cabinet. The Labor leader today was loving it.
These are extraordinary text messages from the people who know Scott Morrison the best.
Now, I wouldn't be making such a big fuss and hallelujah about this if I were Anthony Albanese, because some people might recall what some Labor politicians were saying out loud to journalists at a party about their own boss at the time, or what some Labor MPs are saying about their boss now. By which I mean there's not just that there's plenty of backbiting and disloyalty in politics, and reporters are kidding when they treat this leaked text as sort of an oh my God, bombshell, how unusual. There's something else. You see, no sooner had Van Onselen whacked Morrison and sat down and got himself the publicity than we read another free character assessment by colleagues. Only this time was an assessment of Van Onselen himself by one of his own staffers at Channel 10. Reporter Tegan George has launched federal court action against her employer that accuses Van Onselen of belittling her and undermining her. And, well, she also claims that 10's executive editor dismissed the complaints of bullying despite calling Van Onselen batshit crazy. Psycho? Batshit crazy? What's the difference? Now, as it happens, I've actually read details from Tegan George's statement of claim to get the context of these allegations and find that I have a lot of sympathy for Van Onselen here. And Van Onselen, of course, denies the claims. Now, sure, it's for the federal court to decide who's actually right, but I am certainly not assuming that the accusations against Van Onselen are fair at all. But here's the point. I'm certain that Van Onselen wouldn't want you to take George's claims as gospel either, that is a bully and called batshit crazy at work. As is now said, please wait until all the facts come out. And I'd go further. Whether the claims are true or false, really, it hardly matters if you are judging Van Onselen's actual work. Now, I've known total whack jobs who've still done good journalism. People I wouldn't let in my house anymore. One in particular. But there seems now to be different rules for journalists and for politicians, don't there? Now, I've heard not one Canberra journalist be as fair and balanced with Morrison as Van Onselen wants us to be with him. You know, wait to see till you hear both sides and the context and all that kind of stuff. Oh no, many seem just too excited by the chance to join in another Australian pile-on. God, how many of them we had. You remember all the journalists who acted like we all must hate Cardinal George Pell, even though the man was innocent. Or who told us, oh, we all must hate Novak Djokovic, even though it arrived here legally and posed no extra health risk. Oh no, we had to have a mass hate there too. I reckon it's part of the Twitter mentality now that's made many Australians keener to join a mob to destroy someone than perhaps actually go and praise them. But why are Canberra journalists playing this stupid game? I mean, really, what does it matter to voters' lives if Morrison really is called a psycho by some cowardly minister hiding in the dark, or a bastard? What does it matter to voters, even if he is one, as long as he's their bastard delivering for them? I remember when Paul Keating was a real hero of the press gallery. I remember when he was Prime Minister, some of his ministers called him Captain Wacky, a name dreamed up by a friend of mine in the Labor Party. Do you think Victorian ministers Do you think they think Premier Daniel Andrews, their boss, is a nice guy, or that he really acts like a political thug? Now, all this is such bull. It's in the bubble stuff, who's being mean to who in the Canberra Zoo. And it's got nothing to do with making the lives of Australians one tiny bit better.